Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a general channel message for anyone who's ready to hear the messages that will come forth. You will know the theme by the title. I just don't know what it is yet. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so there's acceptance about a relationship that may have never fully gone through, fully fleshed out, but the Ten of Cups really is like the embodiment of absolute fulfillment. Like this was your partner, someone you could see building your life with. There's acceptance coming from this not coming together. A relationship didn't work out for you, and it might have taken you, I'm hearing, like 2 years to recover, and there's just a lot of acceptance coming in regarding the healing, regarding how you feel about this person. Maybe before you were more prone to seeing them as the embodiment of just like your happiness, right? But what you failed to see, or what both of you were not seeing, is that it's not that you guys were never meant for each other. It was the fact that you guys put too much meaning onto each other right off the bat. You guys must have met during a very powerful period in your life, and you know, this person, they were made for you. You felt that way. You felt like they were made for you and you were made for them, right? And there had to be acceptance about how, yes, maybe that's true, but you still need to approach each other in a way where you want to get to know each other as a human being, right? And so this chapter closed because it wasn't approached properly. If it really was a Ten of Cups, it wasn't approached in that way. The Hierophant comes out to say, okay, now we see the truth, with the Page of Swords also. Now we're aware of where we went wrong. And we can use systems in place, you know, knowledge that is well known to heal these aspects of ourselves, like therapy, like just diving deeper into our attachment styles, which is pretty important if you're really considering them as your divine partner. That's what I call them. I call them as divine unions and divine partners. So if you really do see this person as a divine partner, you realize that there was some work that you needed to do within yourself first. You knew the truth, but it wasn't exactly like, okay, I know what to do, and you weren't like full speed ahead. I think what happened was that you're being guided by your curiosity. You're being guided by a curiosity of, maybe your brain was like, okay, well, what is it like to not be in lack? Okay, we know this person isn't in our lives. It's sad, but do we really need to stay in this state of lack without them? Yes, it feels like it would be more full, but is it really that destabilizing? Is it really that bad? That's what you guys are probably thinking, you know, is like, is it that bad? Was it just a feeling? Was it just a destabilizing feeling? Was it just false, or was it real? And you guys are coming out of that. Okay, this is definitely like giving twin flame for sure. Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, yeah, like you stopped fighting. You stopped fighting your emotions. Okay, you stopped hiding your emotions. There was truth in your emotions and it wasn't coming out because you were constantly battling it, because you didn't want to feel this emptiness without them. And so you wouldn't want to deal with it. And so it was locked away with the moon in reverse. Those emotions were kept within rather than expressed out to be alchemized. And maybe you learned that from like your internal family structures, how they dealt with pain, how they dealt with heartache. Maybe they just shut off, or maybe they would shut off and not care about anything else, even if like you were the child and you needed to be cared for. They were so caught up in their own trauma, which happens a lot, which happens to everyone, right? Like, even if we have children, we don't suddenly become the most perfect parents, and we don't become the most nurturing parents right off. Even if that's what we knew we were missing growing up, maybe we never learned ways to actually counteract what we grew up with. And so we end up repeating the same cycles, okay? And so I think Spirit stopped this union because there were cycles being repeated within both you and your divine partner, okay? Both of you needed to release. Both of you needed to let go, not of the idea of true love or a divine partner. All of that is beautiful. What you needed to let go of was the attachment style that you learned from your parents. And so as you kind of like come full circle, you're realizing like, oh, there's actually parts of me that truly does need healing, truly does need some attention. And I think you decided to kind of look at it, but not really, because there was still this sense of lack that made you not want to look at it. Let's pull out more cards. If you're enjoying this reading so far, please give this video a like, please engage, and give this channel a subscribe. Why not? It's free and it helps me out a lot. Thank you. Back to your message. 5 of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and 5 of Cups. Can you see that far? Yes, you can. Okay, cool. So with your emotions being repressed, you realize that you needed to stop. You need to stop this fighting because you needed to set your mind free. You needed to clear out your mind and clear it out of this lack energy with the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. That's like physical lack and emotional lack. And so, and that's why things haven't been moving forward for you. Okay, if you felt that way, if not, like, don't worry about this part. But if you've been feeling like you've been stagnant, like things just aren't going your way, it's because you were clearing out this this feeling of lack of support, lack of love, lack of friends, lack of family, just lack, right? But you got out because you realized that you had other things still standing. You still had at least 1 or 2 friends that still supported you, that still loved you, that still want to see you do well. You still have some family that loves and supports you just the same. And you still have a foundation, okay? Maybe before with the heartache, you felt like your whole foundation had broken, but really it's still there. It's still there. You were just really focused on what was not going well, right? But then you realized there were actual blessings hidden in your life, and you found it, okay? You found it. That's why the 5 of Cups is coming in reverse, telling me that you have realized the blessings in your life. You are having gratitude for the things that still remain. Even if a lot of things have left, you are still expressing gratitude for all that remains, because you understand now that they don't have to remain, that really life can change very fast and very easily in destructive and constructive ways. And so having gratitude for what is allows you that peace, right? That peace of knowing, like, I'm just going to be thankful for everything that I have. I'm not going to hold on to the things that I don't have, because I can't hold on to them. They're not mine anymore. And what I need to do is just express gratitude for all the blessings that have shown up in my life. And when you're in that energy, oh my gosh, do things take off for you. That is exactly how I manifest. So the minute I come into that moment of, you know what, I'm going to have gratitude. I'm going to focus on the things that did go well, that are in my life, rather than focusing on the things that aren't. And, you know, things tend to turn around because our mental shifts, our mental state shifts from, oh my gosh, I don't have enough, to like, oh, I actually do have a lot. Okay. And it's not everything that I want. It wasn't everything that I had, but everything I do have now, it's still a blessing. And it's still such a loving presence for you. Even in this feeling of emptiness, there's still love, seeds of love kind of everywhere. Okay. So even though it's not from the most obvious source, which is a partner, there is love scattered all throughout your life, and you're coming to see it all, and your heart is filling up, and you're starting to feel a lot better. With the sun in reverse, what is that about, Spirit? Four of Swords in reverse. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Wands with the 4 of Cups. Okay. So with this past lover, it feels like you feel like it was a missed opportunity. And it might have been. That's what Spirit's saying. This person came into your life to teach you an easier way about doing things. They have a flow. They have a much more feminine or a more yin energy, meaning they are more free-flowing. I want to refrain from saying feminine and masculine because our brains cannot separate that from gender. So I'm going to say that yin energy, okay? They embody it so well. And I think what was happening is that you were overworking because you wanted to get to this 10 of Pentacles because you assumed that if you got here, you would get them, right? And so you didn't rest. But what this person that was supposed to come in, they were supposed to teach you how to rest. Okay? So it's not that they were going to fulfill every need that you had. They were just going to teach you a way easier way of doing things, a more intuitive way, one where you don't feel like you're going through constant tower moments. And what do I mean by tower moments? Moments where you feel like your life is just falling apart. Like anything you build just crumbles. Anything you build crumbles, right? That's a tower moment. And so and those can come through burnout. And that's why it's really important that we focus on ways to manage our energy better, because we cannot get to the pinnacle of our career if we're constantly burning out. Okay, we're not going to get far. We're not. If burnout is is constantly happening to you, Spirit is saying you just need to incorporate more rest. And what is rest? It's not always sleeping. It's not always laying in bed. It's about being creative for you. Spirit's saying that a way for your mind to rest is to get into a creative flow. And in this creative flow, you're not going to be mentally thinking so hard, okay? Maybe you guys are overthinkers. With the Four of Cups, I'm seeing that, you feel internally very well, right? But Spirit wants to give you more. Okay, I know you want more, and Spirit is trying to give you more. So where is the issue? It's just that you need to get into this state of rest, right? He's resting. He's under a tree. And, normally this card does not represent that for me, but this is what I'm seeing now. And Spirit is saying this type of rest, it's important to learn the different types of rest that you will need throughout your whole journey, essentially, because rest will always be a huge component of life, okay? We're not here just for all action, because that only leads to burnout. And I think you have really learned that this past season of your life. Maybe summer was, not the best, but you're powering through, right? And Spirit's saying like, hey, let's learn how to rest for a bit, okay? I know you feel like you missed out on something, but it's much more important that you come back into your own energy first before rushing into anything. Okay, maybe you already have this idea set, and this is just confirmation for that. Okay. So what do I want to do now? I'm going to pull out a card from my Isis deck. This is the card you got. It's called the Pillar of Light. Pillar of light, burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend, your blessings and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Wow, that's beautiful. Let me read this again. Pillar of light, burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Oh. So you're learning that you are a conduit of light. You belong to the earth below, but you also belong to the stars above. And this light that carries through you is a light that can transform all energies into unconditional love. And I believe that the entire universe operates off of love, off of unconditional love. Okay. And so you're coming into this understanding that unconditional love is a blessing that is bestowed upon us by the stars above and the earth, right? They hold us unconditionally. This gravitational force, it is the unconditional love of this planet holding us down onto the ground, right? So you're entering this state of understanding that you are a precious being on this earth. You are not just you're not just an NPC. You are actually a co-creator of light, of unconditional love, where you can embrace this energy and embody it in your life, right? How do we teach people that our beliefs are actually worth listening to? By living them, by being the example, right? And so you're realizing that you want to be the example, that you are this example, okay? This could very well be you. channeling the light of the universe. You are the conduit between the stars and the earth. Okay. That's beautiful. Let's pull out one more. I love this deck. Okay. This is your card. Chariot of Ascension, the Merkaba. The Merkaba. A spiritual practice has come or is soon coming to your attention that will help your soul journey. Take your time to develop and practice your chosen spiritual discipline regularly. This will help you grow in power and grace, anchoring the spiritual light within the body of your soul. All right, so there's a story here, right? You're realizing that you have this amazing ability to show unconditional love to people, where you realize that, by sparing judgment onto people, you allow them to be themselves. And when they are themselves, they feel that's really rare these days. So really, they will be incredibly grateful for your ability to hold space for them, to hold that light for them. And you're realizing that's your gift, right? And so you're going to be building upon this. Energy work is going to be a huge process for you. And energy work can come in the form of Reiki, which is like a Japanese light energy healing practice. And there's many other ones that are more rooted in ancestral traditional settings. You just need to be, very niche, get into the nitty-gritty of searching up, really go dive deep into whatever subjects really excite you. And you're going to discover the chosen spiritual discipline. Okay, you're going to have a chosen spiritual discipline. So what does that mean? A chosen spiritual discipline. I guess I can tell you one of mine. One of mine is that I light incense every morning when I wake up. Before drinking coffee, before consuming anything, I will light an incense and I will pray over the smoke as it dissipates into my space. I pray that it creates an energy of love, of peace, of tranquility, of harmony, of unconditional love, and of protection, right? So I do that every morning. I put a blessing on my space every morning, and that's my chosen spiritual discipline. Why do I say discipline? Because that praying process, that takes time, because sometimes we're not in the mood to exactly pray, but it's really important that we can reach outside of our own mind, because I think that's what prayer offers. It's like realizing that by letting go of the control, you're still safe, you're still sound, and it really helps you relax, right? Because what you're reading also about learning how to rest, there is a need for understanding of your somatic systems, the way it deals with stress, and learning different ways. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but in this sense, it's really giving that it is spiritual, because it says spiritual discipline. And so maybe Qigong, right? That's moving the Qi in your body, allowing a more proper flow of energy throughout your entire body. That's a beautiful practice. Yoga is a really common one, to be in your body, to really root that spiritual, that soul energy back into earth, right? Because you're also an earth star and you're a soul star. So it's important that you are elevating your consciousness, but then also grounding it. And that's something that you build throughout your time, right? I can't really give you the answers to that. I can only gently guide you towards it. And yeah, my spiritual discipline is doing tarot. It's doing energy clearing all the time. not that I like am coming in contact with people that I need to. It's just that I love making sure that my energy is clear. I love the feeling of not being held back by anything. And so most days I spend, like, if people ask me, what do you do most days? Most days I am constantly clearing out my energy, because I'm a human being. I have trauma that comes up every day. And that spiritual practice of lighting incense allowed me to have at least a moment of peace before the CPTSD kicks in. And so it's really helped me. And I'm sure that, with this testimony, you'll be a little bit more motivated to do that for yourself too, because I'm sure there's things that, you would like to be doing with that spiritual energy that you have tapped into. And I'm so excited for you. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm so excited for you. I did mention a lot of like energy practices. So like light energy healing, your body healing, your nervous system healing with somatic exercises, somatic releases. That's a very real thing, like animals. I was a biologist. I literally say this all the time. I need to stop. But in nature, in animals, we know that when animals are stressed out, that they have ways of having it released through shaking. It looks a little concerning for human beings because we tell ourselves, like, don't do that. That looks weird. That looks like you're stressed, but that's how you clear it. You clear it by shaking it out of your body. You shake it out of your hips. That's why tapping into your feminine energy or your yin energy is really important, because a lot of the movements, a lot of the design of the yin energy is to move slower, right? When we're moving slower, we're moving more intentionally with our bodies, and that allows us to ground ourselves. When we can come in touch with our bodies, when our soul can touch our body, and we can kind of have that like dissonance cleared out, that's grounding. That's what we're talking about, right? And so when we're in a highly stressed state, it's important that we release it, because animals know how to do this. Humans have just decided that we didn't want to look stressed, and so we don't deal with it. But we are animals as well. We are part of the earth. We are part of the system. And so we need to release that energy. That cortisol needs to be decreased, okay? That's what Spirit's really emphasizing right now. And I don't know that much about it, but I'm sure that, this discussion can lead to a better researching opportunity for you. So, I'm gonna pull out a card from Guan Yin, and that will be our reading for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I haven't been on for a while, but I had a lot of clearing to do. Okay, 2 cards at a time, sure. I forgot that this deck does little nudes. Okay. Empress of the Pearl. Interesting. Let me read from the book. Oh, you got 9 and 10. I've used this deck a lot, so it's very shuffled. All right, so Empress of the Pearl. You have an inner gift of great value, born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth, provided we are willing to search for a way to heal through it. Seeing challenges as ways to expand your spiritual light empowers you to focus on the growing light rather than getting caught up in the suffering. I see. So, as the sand causes irritation in the clam develops ways to soften the irritation, and so it coats it in this layer to make it easier for the clam to deal with that irritation, right? And so with you, I feel like this light that had come into your body kind of irritated you, kind of because it disrupted your daily life, okay? It disrupted what was before. But it wasn't the light that was irritating, it was just your body not being used to it. It was a foreign thing for your body, or for at least your consciousness. And now you're realizing that the light that had initially come in and caused you to feel so much grief suddenly is growing and growing and growing, and it doesn't stop. No matter how much you try to force it to stop, it won't stop growing. And why is that? It's because your body is constantly dealing with that irritation, allowing it to be smoother as it comes in. And so know that not all growth is the most smooth, right? You know that. You've already had to deal with too much, as this card has said, with struggle, adversity, and challenges. But because you've dealt with that, you are basically a warrior that will not allow this to throw you off kilter, essentially. So rather than getting caught up in what was, right, we're realizing that there's a lot of light seated in our lives, which is very coinciding with what we were just talking about through the tarot cards. Great, love it. Synchronistic. Okay. Next card is 8 Immortals. The message you have been receiving that are unconditionally loving, fearless, and encouraging of you to grow and be your true self are from your higher guidance. The 8 Immortals and other beings of divine light and divine love are guiding you. It is safe to follow these messages now. Doing so will bring you greater joy. So this light that has been growing is guiding you, is a guiding force in your life at this time. Guan Yin might as well be with you right now, because your whole reading has been about unconditional love, about seeding and growing that light within you. And so Guan Yin is definitely leading you at this time. And sometimes you may think that you're being guided to in the wrong way, right? Like maybe you don't know your guides, maybe you don't actually trust your guidance just yet. Let this reading be confirmation that your guidance is leading you exactly where you need to be. When you feel that fear, that means that's exactly where you're supposed to go. Okay? The more scared you are of a certain event, a certain person, actually, scratch the person. Certain event, certain opportunities, as they come forth, take them. Trust that they are for you. Know that spirit will never guide you in the wrong direction. They are not there to do that to you. Okay? It is our own psyches that may lead us to the wrong decisions. But when we are tapping into a higher energy, they are never trying to trick you. So maybe you were Christian. Maybe you really believed in the I guess it's not only in the Christian world, but the idea of a negative or evil entity. No, that's not true spirituality. That's duality. That's something split so that the human consciousness can understand. Energy is energy. Embodiments of energy can be more concentrated in other beings versus others. You know, one can have a lot of higher light energy than dark energy. But guess what? All the Ascended Masters, every religious figure you've heard about have had to go through this dark time in their life where they've met their own demons. And that is where the tricks happen. That's where the tricking occurs. It's when we're in our own shadows and we can't tell our own light from anything, right? But you've gone through the darkness and you were able to see the light within yourself. You learn that you are worth loving. You learn that you're worth it. Okay, and now you're moving forward with that energy, and it's beautiful. But know that if spirit is guiding you towards someone, trust that. okay? That person, as much as you put importance on them, they cannot hurt you the way you think they can, because you don't put that much on them. You're not pedestalizing them. You're seeing them as a human being, right? Because before, you suffered with not seeing them just as human beings. You saw them as ideals, as like you put them on a pedestal. And because of that, there were a lot of things that wasn't actually okay for you. But you didn't know how to say that, and because you pedestalized them, you allowed them to do it without actually enforcing any boundaries, causing you to feel less trustful of that person, of the situation, whatever it was. But know that when Spirit guides you, when the light guides you, it never leads you to the wrong place, okay? So that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this message. I definitely did. I think it's such a beautiful, fully encompassed reading that I haven't felt in a long time. And this was very enjoyable for me. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. This was very nice. I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.